Thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview today.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview today.
I really appreciate the chance to discuss this position.
I really appreciate the chance to discuss this position.
I'm excited to be here and learn more about the role.
I'm excited to be here and learn more about the role.
I've been looking forward to this conversation.
I've been looking forward to this conversation.
Before we start, may I quickly confirm how much time we have today?
Before we start, may I quickly confirm how much time we have today?
Thank you for inviting me. I've heard great things about your company.
Thank you for inviting me. I've heard great things about your company.
I'm happy to introduce myself and share my experience with you.
I'm happy to introduce myself and share my experience with you.
I'm grateful for the chance to talk about how I can add value to your team.
I'm grateful for the chance to talk about how I can add value to your team.
This role looks like a great match with my background.
This role looks like a great match with my background.
I'm excited to explain how my skills fit your team's needs.
I'm excited to explain how my skills fit your team's needs.
Before we begin, would you like a brief overview of my background?
Before we begin, would you like a brief overview of my background?
Thank you for considering my application.
Thank you for considering my application.
I'm looking forward to answering your questions.
I'm looking forward to answering your questions.
The building was really easy to find. The directions were very clear.
The building was really easy to find. The directions were very clear.
This is my first time visiting your office. It has a very welcoming atmosphere.
This is my first time visiting your office. It has a very welcoming atmosphere.
I've been following your company's recent news. Congratulations on the latest product launch.
I've been following your company's recent news. Congratulations on the latest product launch.
The remote interview setup is very smooth. Thank you for arranging it.
The remote interview setup is very smooth. Thank you for arranging it.
I reviewed the job description again this morning to prepare for our talk.
I reviewed the job description again this morning to prepare for our talk.
Please let me know if you can hear me clearly.
Please let me know if you can hear me clearly.
I tested my connection earlier, but please tell me if there are any issues with the audio.
I tested my connection earlier, but please tell me if there are any issues with the audio.
I brought a copy of my resume, if you'd like to take a look.
I brought a copy of my resume, if you'd like to take a look.
I'm happy to share my screen if you'd like to see any examples of my work.
I'm happy to share my screen if you'd like to see any examples of my work.
Sure, I'd be happy to tell you about myself.
Sure, I'd be happy to tell you about myself.
My name is David Chen, and I have 7 years of experience in project management.
My name is David Chen, and I have 7 years of experience in project management.
I specialize in coordinating software development projects, with a strong focus on delivery and quality.
I specialize in coordinating software development projects, with a strong focus on delivery and quality.
I started my career in technical support and gradually moved into project coordination and management.
I started my career in technical support and gradually moved into project coordination and management.
Over the past few years, I've been working mainly in IT project management roles.
Over the past few years, I've been working mainly in IT project management roles.
My background combines both technical skills and customer-facing experience.
My background combines both technical skills and customer-facing experience.
I studied computer science at National Taiwan University and graduated in 2016.
I studied computer science at National Taiwan University and graduated in 2016.
My previous roles have given me solid experience in software development and cross-functional project coordination.
My previous roles have given me solid experience in software development and cross-functional project coordination.
I've worked in both small startups and larger companies, so I'm comfortable in different environments.
I've worked in both small startups and larger companies, so I'm comfortable in different environments.
In my current position, I handle sprint planning and support product launch activities.
In my current position, I handle sprint planning and support product launch activities.
I'm responsible for managing project timelines and coordinating with engineering teams.
I'm responsible for managing project timelines and coordinating with engineering teams.
My day-to-day work includes planning, execution, and follow-up on key deliverables.
My day-to-day work includes planning, execution, and follow-up on key deliverables.
I've always been interested in technology, which is why this role caught my attention.
I've always been interested in technology, which is why this role caught my attention.
I consider myself a proactive and detail-oriented person.
I consider myself a proactive and detail-oriented person.
People I work with usually describe me as reliable and easy to communicate with.
People I work with usually describe me as reliable and easy to communicate with.
I'm comfortable working independently, but I also enjoy collaborating with others.
I'm comfortable working independently, but I also enjoy collaborating with others.
I've had the chance to lead small projects and mentor junior colleagues.
I've had the chance to lead small projects and mentor junior colleagues.
I try to stay up to date with industry trends by taking online courses and reading professional blogs.
I try to stay up to date with industry trends by taking online courses and reading professional blogs.
Recently, I completed a certification in Agile Project Management to strengthen my skills.
Recently, I completed a certification in Agile Project Management to strengthen my skills.
I'm now looking for a role where I can take on more responsibility and continue growing.
I'm now looking for a role where I can take on more responsibility and continue growing.
This position matches my experience in leading software projects and my interest in building customer-focused products.
This position matches my experience in leading software projects and my interest in building customer-focused products.
I'm especially interested in your company because of your focus on sustainable technology.
I'm especially interested in your company because of your focus on sustainable technology.
I believe my mix of experience in technical communication and stakeholder management can add value to this team.
I believe my mix of experience in technical communication and stakeholder management can add value to this team.
My long-term goal is to build a strong career in product and project management, and this role is a great step.
My long-term goal is to build a strong career in product and project management, and this role is a great step.
I'm confident that my background has prepared me well for the challenges of this job.
I'm confident that my background has prepared me well for the challenges of this job.
I'd be glad to share more details about any part of my experience.
I'd be glad to share more details about any part of my experience.
I can walk you through one of my recent projects if that would be helpful.
I can walk you through one of my recent projects if that would be helpful.
In my current role, I report directly to the program manager and work closely with product and engineering teams.
In my current role, I report directly to the program manager and work closely with product and engineering teams.
I'm used to working in fast-paced environments with tight deadlines.
I'm used to working in fast-paced environments with tight deadlines.
Overall, my experience has taught me how to deliver high-quality work while staying flexible.
Overall, my experience has taught me how to deliver high-quality work while staying flexible.
In my last job, I was responsible for overseeing a major e-commerce platform upgrade.
In my last job, I was responsible for overseeing a major e-commerce platform upgrade.
One of my main tasks was to coordinate feature releases between development, QA, and operations.
One of my main tasks was to coordinate feature releases between development, QA, and operations.
I regularly communicated with clients to understand their requirements.
I regularly communicated with clients to understand their requirements.
I managed a small team of 5 people to deliver core features.
I managed a small team of 5 people to deliver core features.
I often worked with cross-functional teams, including marketing and customer support.
I often worked with cross-functional teams, including marketing and customer support.
I planned and tracked project timelines using tools like Jira and Microsoft Project.
I planned and tracked project timelines using tools like Jira and Microsoft Project.
I handled daily operations such as scheduling, reporting, and problem solving.
I handled daily operations such as scheduling, reporting, and problem solving.
I monitored key performance indicators and reported the results to management.
I monitored key performance indicators and reported the results to management.
I created documentation and guidelines to make processes clearer for the team.
I created documentation and guidelines to make processes clearer for the team.
I trained new team members and helped them get up to speed quickly.
I trained new team members and helped them get up to speed quickly.
I supported senior staff by preparing data, reports, and presentations.
I supported senior staff by preparing data, reports, and presentations.
I worked closely with vendors and external partners to make sure deadlines were met.
I worked closely with vendors and external partners to make sure deadlines were met.
I helped improve our workflow by suggesting small but effective changes.
I helped improve our workflow by suggesting small but effective changes.
I participated in regular meetings to share updates and discuss risks.
I participated in regular meetings to share updates and discuss risks.
I was involved in both planning and hands-on execution.
I was involved in both planning and hands-on execution.
When issues came up, I investigated the root cause and proposed solutions.
When issues came up, I investigated the root cause and proposed solutions.
I also helped prioritize tasks so we could focus on the most important work.
I also helped prioritize tasks so we could focus on the most important work.
I coordinated with the QA team to make sure our results met quality standards.
I coordinated with the QA team to make sure our results met quality standards.
I responded to urgent requests and learned to stay calm under pressure.
I responded to urgent requests and learned to stay calm under pressure.
I often acted as a bridge between technical staff and non-technical stakeholders.
I often acted as a bridge between technical staff and non-technical stakeholders.
I documented lessons learned after each project to avoid repeating mistakes.
I documented lessons learned after each project to avoid repeating mistakes.
I handled multiple projects at the same time and kept track of progress.
I handled multiple projects at the same time and kept track of progress.
I used tools like Excel, Jira, and Trello to organize tasks and follow up.
I used tools like Excel, Jira, and Trello to organize tasks and follow up.
I frequently needed to adjust plans when requirements changed.
I frequently needed to adjust plans when requirements changed.
I presented updates to my manager and sometimes to senior leadership.
I presented updates to my manager and sometimes to senior leadership.
I helped create standard templates to make our work more efficient.
I helped create standard templates to make our work more efficient.
I was trusted to work with minimal supervision.
I was trusted to work with minimal supervision.
I often stayed in touch with the customer to manage expectations.
I often stayed in touch with the customer to manage expectations.
I made sure that any changes were clearly communicated to everyone involved.
I made sure that any changes were clearly communicated to everyone involved.
I learned how to balance speed with accuracy in my daily work.
I learned how to balance speed with accuracy in my daily work.
I took ownership when something went wrong and focused on fixing it quickly.
I took ownership when something went wrong and focused on fixing it quickly.
I collaborated with other departments to achieve common goals.
I collaborated with other departments to achieve common goals.
I always tried to understand the business impact behind each task.
I always tried to understand the business impact behind each task.
I supported continuous improvement by sharing feedback and suggestions.
I supported continuous improvement by sharing feedback and suggestions.
Overall, my experience has made me confident in handling similar responsibilities in this role.
Overall, my experience has made me confident in handling similar responsibilities in this role.
One of my key strengths is my ability to stay organized under pressure.
One of my key strengths is my ability to stay organized under pressure.
I'm very comfortable prioritizing tasks and meeting tight deadlines.
I'm very comfortable prioritizing tasks and meeting tight deadlines.
I have strong communication skills and can explain complex ideas in simple terms.
I have strong communication skills and can explain complex ideas in simple terms.
I'm confident speaking with both technical and non-technical stakeholders.
I'm confident speaking with both technical and non-technical stakeholders.
I'm good at building trust with colleagues and clients.
I'm good at building trust with colleagues and clients.
I pay close attention to details while still keeping the big picture in mind.
I pay close attention to details while still keeping the big picture in mind.
I'm comfortable using tools like Jira, Confluence, and Microsoft Excel in my daily work.
I'm comfortable using tools like Jira, Confluence, and Microsoft Excel in my daily work.
I learn new systems and software quickly.
I learn new systems and software quickly.
I enjoy analyzing data to support decisions.
I enjoy analyzing data to support decisions.
I'm proactive. I don't wait for problems to grow before I take action.
I'm proactive. I don't wait for problems to grow before I take action.
I'm open to feedback and use it to improve my performance.
I'm open to feedback and use it to improve my performance.
I'm very dependable. When I commit to something, I make sure it gets done.
I'm very dependable. When I commit to something, I make sure it gets done.
I'm used to working in international teams and communicating in English.
I'm used to working in international teams and communicating in English.
I'm not afraid to ask questions when something is unclear.
I'm not afraid to ask questions when something is unclear.
I bring a positive attitude and try to keep the team motivated.
I bring a positive attitude and try to keep the team motivated.
One achievement I'm proud of is successfully delivering a system migration project 2 weeks ahead of schedule.
One achievement I'm proud of is successfully delivering a system migration project 2 weeks ahead of schedule.
I helped reduce production incident tickets by 30% through process improvements.
I helped reduce production incident tickets by 30% through process improvements.
I introduced a new way of tracking tasks that made our team more efficient.
I introduced a new way of tracking tasks that made our team more efficient.
I received positive feedback from my manager for my work on a critical release.
I received positive feedback from my manager for my work on a critical release.
I was selected to lead a small project because of my reliability.
I was selected to lead a small project because of my reliability.
I consistently met or exceeded my performance targets.
I consistently met or exceeded my performance targets.
I helped a new colleague adapt quickly by sharing best practices.
I helped a new colleague adapt quickly by sharing best practices.
I've been recognized for my problem-solving skills in high-pressure situations.
I've been recognized for my problem-solving skills in high-pressure situations.
I'm proud that my work helped improve customer satisfaction scores.
I'm proud that my work helped improve customer satisfaction scores.
I often take initiative to improve documents, templates, or workflows.
I often take initiative to improve documents, templates, or workflows.
I try to think one step ahead and prepare for potential risks.
I try to think one step ahead and prepare for potential risks.
I'm good at breaking down big tasks into smaller, manageable steps.
I'm good at breaking down big tasks into smaller, manageable steps.
I enjoy mentoring junior team members and sharing what I've learned.
I enjoy mentoring junior team members and sharing what I've learned.
I'm very comfortable working with numbers and basic analysis.
I'm very comfortable working with numbers and basic analysis.
I've successfully handled situations where priorities changed suddenly.
I've successfully handled situations where priorities changed suddenly.
I'm able to adapt my communication style to different audiences.
I'm able to adapt my communication style to different audiences.
I stay calm and focused even when there is a lot of pressure.
I stay calm and focused even when there is a lot of pressure.
I'm confident that these strengths would allow me to contribute quickly in this role.
I'm confident that these strengths would allow me to contribute quickly in this role.
I'm always looking for ways to grow and bring more value to the team.
I'm always looking for ways to grow and bring more value to the team.
One area I'm still working on is saying no when my schedule is already full.
One area I'm still working on is saying no when my schedule is already full.
In the past, I sometimes tried to handle too many tasks by myself.
In the past, I sometimes tried to handle too many tasks by myself.
I've been improving this by communicating more clearly about my workload.
I've been improving this by communicating more clearly about my workload.
I used to feel nervous speaking in front of larger groups.
I used to feel nervous speaking in front of larger groups.
To improve, I volunteered to present in smaller meetings and took a short course on public speaking.
To improve, I volunteered to present in smaller meetings and took a short course on public speaking.
Now I feel more comfortable, but I still see this as an area for growth.
Now I feel more comfortable, but I still see this as an area for growth.
Sometimes I can be very detail-oriented, which may slow me down.
Sometimes I can be very detail-oriented, which may slow me down.
I'm learning to balance detail with speed by setting clear time limits for each task.
I'm learning to balance detail with speed by setting clear time limits for each task.
I don't have much direct experience in data science yet, but I'm eager to learn.
I don't have much direct experience in data science yet, but I'm eager to learn.
To prepare for this role, I've been studying data analysis and Python using online courses.
To prepare for this role, I've been studying data analysis and Python using online courses.
When I make a mistake, I try to analyze it and make sure it doesn't happen again.
When I make a mistake, I try to analyze it and make sure it doesn't happen again.
I try to ask for feedback regularly so I can improve faster.
I try to ask for feedback regularly so I can improve faster.
I used to hesitate to ask for help, but I've learned that teamwork is more effective.
I used to hesitate to ask for help, but I've learned that teamwork is more effective.
Now if I'm unsure, I ask early instead of waiting too long.
Now if I'm unsure, I ask early instead of waiting too long.
I'm still building my knowledge in cloud platforms like AWS, but I learn new concepts quickly.
I'm still building my knowledge in cloud platforms like AWS, but I learn new concepts quickly.
I sometimes get deeply focused on one task, so I use reminders to keep track of other priorities.
I sometimes get deeply focused on one task, so I use reminders to keep track of other priorities.
I know I still have room to grow, and I'm very open to coaching and training.
I know I still have room to grow, and I'm very open to coaching and training.
I believe it's important to be honest about weaknesses and show how you're improving.
I believe it's important to be honest about weaknesses and show how you're improving.
Overall, my weaknesses haven't stopped me from delivering good results.
Overall, my weaknesses haven't stopped me from delivering good results.
I see this role as a chance to continue improving while contributing to the team.
I see this role as a chance to continue improving while contributing to the team.
I enjoy working in teams and believe good communication is essential.
I enjoy working in teams and believe good communication is essential.
In my current job, I collaborate daily with colleagues from different departments.
In my current job, I collaborate daily with colleagues from different departments.
I try to listen carefully before giving my opinion.
I try to listen carefully before giving my opinion.
When I disagree, I express my view respectfully and focus on the facts.
When I disagree, I express my view respectfully and focus on the facts.
I always try to understand the other person's point of view.
I always try to understand the other person's point of view.
If there is a misunderstanding, I prefer to clarify it quickly rather than let it grow.
If there is a misunderstanding, I prefer to clarify it quickly rather than let it grow.
I've worked on projects where we had to coordinate across time zones.
I've worked on projects where we had to coordinate across time zones.
To keep everyone aligned, I use clear emails, shared documents, and regular check-ins.
To keep everyone aligned, I use clear emails, shared documents, and regular check-ins.
When a teammate is struggling, I offer help if I have capacity.
When a teammate is struggling, I offer help if I have capacity.
I believe sharing information openly helps the whole team succeed.
I believe sharing information openly helps the whole team succeed.
If I make a mistake, I admit it and focus on solving the problem.
If I make a mistake, I admit it and focus on solving the problem.
When there is conflict, I try to separate the issue from the person.
When there is conflict, I try to separate the issue from the person.
I look for solutions where everyone can agree on the next step.
I look for solutions where everyone can agree on the next step.
In one project, 2 teams had different priorities, so I helped them find common ground.
In one project, 2 teams had different priorities, so I helped them find common ground.
I like to summarize decisions at the end of meetings to avoid confusion.
I like to summarize decisions at the end of meetings to avoid confusion.
I value feedback from colleagues because it helps me see things from another perspective.
I value feedback from colleagues because it helps me see things from another perspective.
I'm comfortable working with people from different backgrounds and cultures.
I'm comfortable working with people from different backgrounds and cultures.
I try to communicate clearly, especially when deadlines are tight.
I try to communicate clearly, especially when deadlines are tight.
I respect other people's time, so I prepare before meetings and keep my messages concise.
I respect other people's time, so I prepare before meetings and keep my messages concise.
I believe a healthy team is one where people feel safe to speak up.
I believe a healthy team is one where people feel safe to speak up.
I'm interested in this position because it combines my experience in project management with my interest in fintech products.
I'm interested in this position because it combines my experience in project management with my interest in fintech products.
Your company's focus on innovation in digital payments really matches my values.
Your company's focus on innovation in digital payments really matches my values.
I've read about your projects in mobile banking apps and would love to contribute to them.
I've read about your projects in mobile banking apps and would love to contribute to them.
I'm motivated by roles where I can both solve problems and help people.
I'm motivated by roles where I can both solve problems and help people.
I enjoy environments that are fast-moving but still structured.
I enjoy environments that are fast-moving but still structured.
I'm looking for a place where I can grow and also stay for the long term.
I'm looking for a place where I can grow and also stay for the long term.
I'm excited about the chance to learn from experienced colleagues here.
I'm excited about the chance to learn from experienced colleagues here.
I believe my working style fits well with your culture of collaboration and ownership.
I believe my working style fits well with your culture of collaboration and ownership.
I like clear goals, regular feedback, and open communication.
I like clear goals, regular feedback, and open communication.
In the next few years, I hope to deepen my expertise in product strategy and gradually take on more responsibility.
In the next few years, I hope to deepen my expertise in product strategy and gradually take on more responsibility.
My long-term goal is to become a trusted expert that both the team and customers rely on.
My long-term goal is to become a trusted expert that both the team and customers rely on.
I see this role as a strong step toward that goal.
I see this role as a strong step toward that goal.
I'm especially interested in the opportunity to work on high-impact customer-facing features in this position.
I'm especially interested in the opportunity to work on high-impact customer-facing features in this position.
I'm motivated by challenging projects where I can see real impact.
I'm motivated by challenging projects where I can see real impact.
I'd be proud to represent your company and contribute to its success.
I'd be proud to represent your company and contribute to its success.
At this stage, I'm mainly focused on finding the right fit in terms of role and responsibilities.
At this stage, I'm mainly focused on finding the right fit in terms of role and responsibilities.
Based on my research and experience, my expected salary range is $70,000 to $85,000 per year, depending on the full package.
Based on my research and experience, my expected salary range is $70,000 to $85,000 per year, depending on the full package.
When you ask behavioral questions, would you like me to use the STAR method in my answers?
When you ask behavioral questions, would you like me to use the STAR method in my answers?
One example that shows my problem-solving skills is when our main system went down right before a release, and I coordinated the team to restore it within 2 hours.
One example that shows my problem-solving skills is when our main system went down right before a release, and I coordinated the team to restore it within 2 hours.
In that situation, I first gathered all the key people, listed the possible causes, and assigned clear owners for each action.
In that situation, I first gathered all the key people, listed the possible causes, and assigned clear owners for each action.
I stayed in close contact with stakeholders during the incident, so everyone knew what was happening and what to expect.
I stayed in close contact with stakeholders during the incident, so everyone knew what was happening and what to expect.
After we solved the problem, I documented the steps we took and added them to our incident response playbook.
After we solved the problem, I documented the steps we took and added them to our incident response playbook.
A time I had to handle conflicting priorities was when 2 managers needed their tasks done on the same day.
A time I had to handle conflicting priorities was when 2 managers needed their tasks done on the same day.
I clarified the deadlines, impact, and expectations, then suggested a plan that both managers agreed was fair.
I clarified the deadlines, impact, and expectations, then suggested a plan that both managers agreed was fair.
I try to be very transparent about my workload so that people can see what I'm working on and when.
I try to be very transparent about my workload so that people can see what I'm working on and when.
When I join a new team, my first step is to listen, observe, and understand how things are done before suggesting changes.
When I join a new team, my first step is to listen, observe, and understand how things are done before suggesting changes.
I usually prepare for my day by reviewing my task list, checking for urgent messages, and blocking focus time in my calendar.
I usually prepare for my day by reviewing my task list, checking for urgent messages, and blocking focus time in my calendar.
When I'm not sure about a requirement, I ask follow-up questions and repeat it in my own words to confirm.
When I'm not sure about a requirement, I ask follow-up questions and repeat it in my own words to confirm.
If I see a risk, I prefer to bring it up early and propose a few possible options to handle it.
If I see a risk, I prefer to bring it up early and propose a few possible options to handle it.
I stay updated on industry trends by reading blogs, joining webinars, and following experts on LinkedIn.
I stay updated on industry trends by reading blogs, joining webinars, and following experts on LinkedIn.
I like to turn bigger goals into weekly and daily targets so I can track progress more easily.
I like to turn bigger goals into weekly and daily targets so I can track progress more easily.
When I receive feedback, I write it down, reflect on it, and review it again after a few weeks to check my progress.
When I receive feedback, I write it down, reflect on it, and review it again after a few weeks to check my progress.
I'm comfortable working independently, but I also enjoy regular one-on-one check-ins with my manager.
I'm comfortable working independently, but I also enjoy regular one-on-one check-ins with my manager.
If I ever feel stuck, I first try to break the problem into smaller pieces and, if needed, ask a more experienced colleague for guidance.
If I ever feel stuck, I first try to break the problem into smaller pieces and, if needed, ask a more experienced colleague for guidance.
I believe clear documentation is part of doing a professional job, not an optional extra.
I believe clear documentation is part of doing a professional job, not an optional extra.
I see mistakes as data, not as failure, as long as I learn something and don't repeat them.
I see mistakes as data, not as failure, as long as I learn something and don't repeat them.
I'm very comfortable working in English, and I'm always trying to expand my vocabulary for professional situations.
I'm very comfortable working in English, and I'm always trying to expand my vocabulary for professional situations.
If I'm offered this position, my priority will be to learn your processes quickly and deliver value as soon as possible.
If I'm offered this position, my priority will be to learn your processes quickly and deliver value as soon as possible.
I'm curious to know what qualities your most successful team members usually have.
I'm curious to know what qualities your most successful team members usually have.
May I ask how performance is typically evaluated in this role?
May I ask how performance is typically evaluated in this role?
How often do team members receive feedback or have performance discussions?
How often do team members receive feedback or have performance discussions?
What would you say are the biggest challenges for someone starting in this position?
What would you say are the biggest challenges for someone starting in this position?
Is there anything about my experience that makes you hesitate, or that I can clarify for you now?
Is there anything about my experience that makes you hesitate, or that I can clarify for you now?
I'd be happy to walk you through another concrete example, if that would be useful.
I'd be happy to walk you through another concrete example, if that would be useful.
Thank you for all the information you shared. It gave me a very clear picture of the role.
Thank you for all the information you shared. It gave me a very clear picture of the role.
I appreciate your questions. They helped me reflect on my own experience and goals.
I appreciate your questions. They helped me reflect on my own experience and goals.
I'm genuinely excited about the possibility of joining your team and contributing to your projects.
I'm genuinely excited about the possibility of joining your team and contributing to your projects.
I'm open to discussing compensation and finding a number that works for both sides.
I'm open to discussing compensation and finding a number that works for both sides.
I'm comfortable with a hybrid or remote working model, depending on the company's policy.
I'm comfortable with a hybrid or remote working model, depending on the company's policy.
I'm flexible about working hours as long as expectations are clear.
I'm flexible about working hours as long as expectations are clear.
I'm available to start after giving my current employer 4 weeks' notice.
I'm available to start after giving my current employer 4 weeks' notice.
If needed, I'm open to occasional overtime when deadlines are tight.
If needed, I'm open to occasional overtime when deadlines are tight.
I'd like to understand more about the team structure and who I would be reporting to.
I'd like to understand more about the team structure and who I would be reporting to.
I'm also interested in learning about your training or development opportunities.
I'm also interested in learning about your training or development opportunities.
I'd be happy to share references or any additional documents you may need.
I'd be happy to share references or any additional documents you may need.
What are the next steps in the interview process?
What are the next steps in the interview process?
What would success look like in this role in the first 6 to 12 months?
What would success look like in this role in the first 6 to 12 months?
Is there anything in my background that you'd like me to explain in more detail?
Is there anything in my background that you'd like me to explain in more detail?
Thank you again for your time today. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you again for your time today. I really enjoyed our conversation.
I'm very interested in this role and hope to have the opportunity to work with your team.
I'm very interested in this role and hope to have the opportunity to work with your team.